Hi everyone, it's Lindy on here from Pink Whisper Designs. Today we're going to make a really fun and simple rainbow card, and we're going to be using some products from Lawn Fawn. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start off by using this set here. We're going to grab that Rhino, the two sizes of clouds, the two sizes of grass, and that larger rock. And this set is called Big Thanks for Hero Arts. We're going to be doing our stamping on the Strathmore Bristol Smooth 100-pound cardstock, and I've placed that in my mini precision press, and this is by We Are Memory Keepers. And I've shown you this in a couple videos, but I did want to describe it again. It's got this peg alignment system. We're going to press down and pick up those stamps. I've already placed my paper in there, and it's got these spring-loaded feet here as well. Now I'm going to be stamping with my VersaFine Onyx Black ink. So what I want to do is align those pegs and then press down, and those little spring-loaded feet will press down, and I'll get a perfect stamping. Now if I didn't have enough ink on there, I can go back and ink that up again and then press down. So position it first, then press it into place, and this will give you a perfect stamping. So you can stamp as many times as you need to. Now I'm going to go ahead and stamp one more of those clouds. So now I'm going to start coloring these in, and I'm using light gray and gray to do my coloring. And these are the Zig Clean Color Real Brush pens, and I'm starting with my lighter color, coming in with the darker color, and then I'm using my blender pen to pull that in. Again, these are water-based markers, and I'm just going to use the blender. I want to clean it off in between colors, and if I get too much ink, I can come in and pick up a little color and remove it onto my scrap paper. So I've done several videos using the Zig Clean Color markers, and I do like these for these small detailed images because it's just really easy to use and very easy to blend. But you could also use a water brush to do your blending here as well. If you do use the water brush, just make sure that it's not too wet, especially when you're using water with these little tiny images. And you can always blot up some color if it gets a little bit too wet. Here you can see me removing some color. So it's easy to do with the blender. I can just grab that color and pull it off. Now with the sugared almond pink, I'm just adding a little pink to the cheeks here. And then I'm going to blend up to that pink and then kind of blend it out, cleaning off my pen in between here. So I'll continue coloring this in. And I just want to mention that all of the supplies I used in today's video are listed below, and they're also listed on my blog, so you can just check in either place for the full listing of the supplies I used today. So now with light gray and a gray brown, I'm going to color in that rock. Starting with the lighter color, adding that gray brown, and then I'm just going to pull towards the center, just keeping that center the lightest. And a little later on, we'll be adding some crystal glaze to this, so it'll give it a nice shiny finish. Now with the light blue, I'm just adding the light blue down towards the bottom of each of these clouds and pulling it up towards the top, leaving that top the lightest, actually leaving it pretty much almost white. Now with May green and light green, I'm going to color in the grass. And again, the lighter color, then the darker color. And then I did decide to come in with the yellow, just to give the tips of the grass a little bit of a yellow tint. And then I'm just going to blend those together. And you can see that up close. So now I've got my coordinating dies, and I'm going to go ahead and tape those down with a little bit of purple tape and run those through my die cutting machine. And this stamp set, I did want to mention, it was designed for Hero Arts to celebrate their 45th anniversary. So a big congratulations to everyone at Hero Arts. So now I'm grabbing from the outside in stitched rectangle Stackables dies, the largest one and the third largest one. And I'm going to tape these onto some Bristol Smooth cardstock, again using the purple tape. And then for the frame for the inside, I'm going to put it sort of towards the top. I want an equal amount on the sides and the top and a little bit more distance from the bottom. So I'm going to center that as best I can and then run that through my die cutting machine. I'm putting it on a little bit of an angle. That'll just make it easier to run this through, especially with the two dies on there. So if you angle it a little bit, it just runs through a lot more smoothly. So now I can go ahead and remove this outer edge. I'm going to keep that centerpiece and this frame as well. And you can see that it's got that really nice stitch border all the way, the inside and the outside. So now with this piece here, with the frame, I'm going to go ahead and place this on a piece of black licorice cardstock. And this card will measure 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So this is a standard A2 size card. And I'm going to go ahead and tape that in place. So I've grabbed my 1/4 inch double-sided tape, and I'm just going to place that tape all around the back of this panel. And now I'm removing the backing, and I'm going to go ahead and center this on my card. So once that's all set, I can grab that little panel, and that's going to sit right inside that frame. And we're going to create a rainbow on here. So I'm using my Tim Holtz Distress Oxides in Festive Berry, Carved Pumpkin, Squeezed Lemonade, Mowed Lawn, Salty Ocean, Blueprint Sketch, and Wilted Violet. And I've got all my little daubers here, and I'm going to line them up in that rainbow order. And I did label all of these little daubers. I just printed this out from my computer and used a piece of Scotch tape to attach those. But I wanted to show you these little daubers. These I just recently got these. And when you buy the set, you get half of the triangle daubers and half of the round daubers. And these are from We Are Memory Keepers, and they're called the Impressed Dauber Set. And you can see there that you get a half set of triangles and a half set of circles. So I bought 2 sets and put all my circles in one and all my triangles in the other. And you can see that I have them all labeled there, and I plan on doing the same thing for the triangles as well. And it's just a little sponge dauber on the end of these little daubers, and you can stack them up this way as well. They kind of like clip together there, and so you can stack them up to travel easily with them. So I did want to just tell you a little bit about those. I think they're really fun, and they're nice to get into these little smaller areas. Also show you later on, we're going to use them to ink up our sentiment as well. So they're just a perfect size to do some of this smaller blending. Now, I normally use my foam applicators from Tim Holtz, but they're larger. So it'd be really hard to do a small area like this or to ink up your stamps with them. So I find these, I think I'm going to be using these quite a bit. So what I'm doing here is one color at a time, and then I do want to overlap the colors a little bit just to blend everything out. And you can always go back afterwards and blend again or add more color if you want to. So again, I'm just kind of trying to create sort of like the rays coming out from the bottom. And if your daubers get dirty or you feel like they got other colors on them, you can always just take a damp baby wipe and blot it off onto the baby wipe. Just pat it until it goes clean. So here I'm just continuing doing my blending and adding my colors. And again, go back if you need to and blend it again or add more color. And you can see here I decided to go in and do a little bit more blending. So now I'm going to take my Distress Sprayer from Tim Holtz. It just has water in it, and I'm just going to spritz this panel. I just wanted to add a few little splotches to it just to add a little bit more interest here. And I ended up doing this a couple of times. I'm going to spray it one more time here. So now I want to heat set that, make sure it's nice and dry, and then I'm going to go ahead and attach that right inside that frame. And I'm not popping it up or anything, but you certainly could do that here. I'm just adding my 1/4" double-sided tape all across the back of this, and you do want to make sure you have plenty of it just to make sure it lies nice and flat. And then I'm pressing that into place. So now with my little images here, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to pop up most all of these except for one of the clouds and one of the blades, the smaller blade of grass. So I'm going to go ahead and add the foam mounting tape to the backs of these. And now I'm just going to remove the backing and attach these to the card. And I just kind of want to line them up down at the bottom edge of that frame. And I did want this little rhino kind of sticking off the side just a little bit. And this one cloud as well. So you can kind of bring the eye out a little bit just by having a few images kind of pop off the edges here. And that's why I did this flat, but you certainly again could pop this whole panel up if you wanted even more dimension. So I'm just going to go ahead and finish adding these little pieces here. And for these blades of grass here, I'm just going to use my glue and place that flat. And I did that with that smaller cloud up at the top as well. So now with my Nouveau Crystal Glaze, I'm going to put some glaze on that rock. And that's just going to give it a nice shiny finish. And you do want to check this on your scrap paper before you go to your card. You want to make sure there's no bubbles in it and that it's coming out nice and even. Now with my Lawn Fawn glitter pen, I'm going to go ahead and put glitter on all these little clouds. Now in a little while we'll be adding some flowers to that grass, but for now I want to do the sentiment, and these are really cute sentiments, and this is from the Simply Sentiment set. We are going to do the one that says "You are so awesome." So I'm placing this back in my mini precision press, and I'm going to go ahead and line up that sentiment. I'm using the grid on my glass mat as well as the grid on the precision press, just to make sure that's lined up nice and straight. I've got a piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock in there. And now I want to show you that we can go back to these little daubers and ink up this stamp in a rainbow color. So this is really fun because you can get into these little tiny areas. So I'm doing about 2 letters at a time, and I'm making sure to overlap as I do this so we get a nice transition from one color to the next. And there I just was cleaning off that dauber a little bit on some scrap paper. But again, you could use a baby wipe to just blot these off. Just let them dry before you use them again. And so I'm continuing down the rainbow here, adding my colors. So I love the ability to do this with the oxide inks, or any inks for that matter. You could also use your water-based markers as well to do this, just coloring in one marker at a time. Now what I did do before I stamped it is I just blew on it a little bit. You can huff on it with your breath, and your breath will just kind of re-wet that ink just a little bit so you get a really nice stamping. And I just think that looks so cute with the rainbow colors on it. So now I want to die cut the sentiment, so I'm just lining up that smallest banner die here on this sentiment. And then with the medium-sized one, I'm going to die cut that out of some black licorice cardstock. And these are from the Everyday Sentiment Banners die set. So now I'm going to run those through my Sizzix Sidekick machine. So now to attach these two, I'm going to go back to my 1/4" double-sided tape, just removing the backing and centering this on this black cardstock. And sometimes I just grab a scrap piece of paper just to press those down because I don't want to smudge anything here. So now I'm going to take and pop this up a little bit with some Scotch foam mounting tape. And I'm going to remove the backing from that and center it just below this frame. And I just love how that looks. So now for those little blades of grass, I'm going to turn them into little flowers. And these are from the HAI supply. And these are called the Colorful Blossoms. And you can see you get all these beautiful little flowers here. So I want to show you them again. I'll put them on a little piece of scrap paper here so you can see them a little bit better. But you can see how cute these are. Now, you do get flowers in this particular stamp and die set, but I decided to add these. I just wanted to add a little bit more dimension and a little bit more color here. So I'm just putting down a little bit of the glue from the glue tube, and then I'm just going to attach 3 of these little flowers on here. And you're going to see how cute these are and how much dimension these give to this card. So now let me give you a closer look at the card. You can see the glitter we have on the clouds and those cute little flowers. And I love that rainbow background. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please hit the like button and subscribe. And don't forget to visit me at pinkwhisperdesigns.com. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye-bye.